Welcome to Phoenix. I grew up here, and I fell in love with journalism here. And so I'm going to talk about my love of journalism. I fell in love with journalism as a paperboy for the Arizona Republic, the newspaper here. That's kind of me. That's kind of what I looked like. I got up at 4 a.m. every morning, rode my bike to Missouri and 20th, and popped open the big bundles of newspapers, and I loved the feel of the news. I was the carrier of the month in July 1976. And this is how I first fell in love with journalism. The news rubbed off on my fingers. As an 8th grader at Madison No. 1 Elementary School on 16th in Missouri, I wrote my career report on journalism, and I was prescient. I said the main disadvantage is the salary. And then in 1976, it really came home to me. I saw All the President's Men, and I realized how much I love journalism. Why? Because I knew I could be as good looking as Robert Redford. Something else happened that year, very tragic here in Phoenix. Don Bowles, an investigative reporter for the Arizona Republic, was killed by a car bomb. And that cemented to me how important journalism could be. And that was really an important moment for me. In high school, I wrote for the Teen Gazette, a publication of the Phoenix Gazette, which was the evening newspaper here. And I worked at the Gazette, which is just a couple of blocks from here, appropriately no longer in business, now a server farm. I went to Arizona State University here. ASU, of course, well known back then as a great school that really put a lot of emphasis, when I was there, at least on academics, on studying. And so, I really focused hard on my studies while I was at ASU. My love of journalism grew while at ASU. I worked for some local papers. And then when I graduated, I went to work for a series of papers, a suburban paper in the Washington area, and then for a magnificent paper, the St. Petersburg Times. And I began to really experience a true love of journalism, to realize that journalism is a license to be curious. It's a license to ask anybody about their lives. It's a license to hold power accountable. I got wonderful opportunities to do great things. I covered the White House. I covered campaigns. I covered plane crashes. I met people who had suffered tragedies. And I really began to understand the world. And it was so fulfilling, and it's a career that I love. And today, even though I'm in academia now, if people ask me what I'm doing, I say, I'm a journalist. And then I say, and I'm a college professor too, but I'm really a journalist first, and I've gotten to do some very wonderful things. But of course, things have changed. There aren't any paperboys anymore. The Phoenix Gazette has long gone out of business. And like I said, it's a server farm now. It's very funny, just a couple of blocks from here. So it's a very different era. And now as we think about journalism, we have to think very differently. These are my kids when they first entered the digital age. And we know how things have changed. So this is no longer the era of Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman from All the President's Men. It's an era of the iPhone, when everybody is a journalist, when this is from a Bruce Springsteen concert, where I think everybody was photographing Bruce with their iPhone. Everybody is a journalist, and now there are just so many opportunities to publish journalism. There are so many ways that people can get involved, but it's a different era. And so the big challenge for us now, and for me in academia, is how to get people inspired about journalism the way I was. The way I was when I was a boy here in Phoenix, growing up loving journalism. And so our challenge, and your challenge as we think about what we're doing today, is how to replicate that love of journalism in the digital age. Thank you.